See this in 3D. All lights out for me. All lights out for me. Lightning strikes the beat. 80 degrees.
Yes. Yes.
Warm it up for me.
Yes.
Finally
Yes.
free.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time
To see.
for the second spin-off of the House of Common network. It is Lion Chat. The Lions are in the building. You already know what it is. I'm Chris Chase. We got Stephon Watts in the building. We got Brian Aniston in the building. We got Calvin Forbes in the building. What we're doing tonight is we are doing a quick review of Kanye West's 10th studio album, 10th LP, his magnum opus, his two-parter, his Godfather Part 1 and Part 2, because that's how long the album feels. Donda. Gentlemen,
Facts.
we're gonna jump right in. It's been a crazy summer for hip hop.
Amazing
Legitimately, it has been a crazy summer for hip hop. We got brand new J. Cole. We got King Disease 2 by Nas.
Yep.
We got beef between Drake and Kanye West. We had the flippin' locks.
Yo,
versus.
I don't
back.
live in Colorado. I don't live in Miami.
We
I'm
outside.
pissed. We outside.
We outside.
Always D Block. I got 100 clips. I'm from New York.
New York.
Jeez. Right? We got Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem saying, "Hey, listen, we got next. Don't worry about any of this stuff. We're back we're back on the scene. We're coming up with something real fresh."
Amazing, brother.
Yo, that entire section of that song is actually, no pun intended, amazing, brother.
It's just pure chaos, and he does it so well.
Burn that hard drive. And then
Jeez.
at the end, this Friday, we're recording, so Tuesday night, on Friday, the sixth god himself, Drake, he drops Certified Lover Boy with the most trolly cover in the history of mankind. And that's not even counting any of the, 42 Doug and Soulja Boy and Lil Baby and everybody else who's dropping projects over the course of summer. This has been a crazy summer for hip-hop, and yet somehow Kanye Amari West has owned all of July and August. And the four of us, we have been able to hear multiple versions of this final album.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. We have copies of Listening Party 2 and Listening
Yes.
Party 3. So we
have Connex.
have known what was going to be on this album prior to Bart turns his camera off. He's like, I don't want to be incriminated on this.
Bart didn't listen
have
to it. He just had it available.
But so we have heard the album prior to Donda being dropped on a Sunday, which is crazy because originally it was supposed to come out September 3rd. Calvin, you were saying all weekend it's coming out, and we're like, no, and I'll be one to admit, like I was like, nah, it's not, and yet Sunday morning, the Lord's Day, Donda was released to the world. So we're gonna walk through a little bit of some categories, and we talk about the album. First category is this, gentlemen. How do you feel about the rollout? Like how do you feel? Like it's been a lot. There was 3 listening parties. I fell asleep during listening party 3, so it tells you how I felt. But how did you feel about the rollout? Was it too much? Was it too little? Was it just right? Was it perfect? Yay! What do you guys think?
It was Kanye being Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Too long. It's too extra, man. Bro, I fell asleep before the music started on the third song, or the third listening party in Chicago.
I didn't even watch them live. I just got the recording that Chase legally found for us.
Yes.
Through legal sources. And
Yes.
I feel like it's totally Kanye in the sense that he wants to roll it out publicly. That's what they do with tech companies. They release a beta to the public, and then they'll let people use it, and they'll take changes. And then all those listening parties, the album evolved. So even how he got people to buy $300 bulletproof vests and charge people money to come to the shows, he finessed the system. Kanye is definitely that dude. There isn't an artist like Kanye who can literally, like, to quote his own lyrics, have the whole culture in his hand and shift the paradigm the way he wants to. So Kanye is definitely that guy, man. That was the most Kanye thing, the way to roll out this album.
Watson, what about you? What do you think?
I thought Kanye was just trying to finesse the system, as someone mentioned. I mean, to host 3 listening parties, people are, Kanye literally, like you said, Chase, he took over July and August because he had that anticipation building for this release. And you get the first one, you're like, all right, cool, this album's coming out. And it's like, no, it's pushed back. But here's a second one. No, the album's pushed back again. Here's a third one. It's pushed back again, right? Like, and there was supposed to be another one on the 27th. Or was it?
Right.
Yeah, there was supposed to be another one.
Yeah, there was.
And so I think Kanye was just, doing, like you said, like someone said, typical Kanye, stealing all the shine, all the spotlight.
Yep.
Nothing else mattered. And we were able to hear this monstrosity of an album, a double CD. If we were back in
the man had his ex out there in a wedding dress. He lit himself on fire, man.
I mean,
A former ex.
what?
Yeah,
Right? Aren't they back together?
No, Bart, you bring up a good point, right? Like, on one album, he's just wearing a red Gap jacket, and he's just walking around with a mask on his head, just by himself on a gigantic stadium floor. Second one, he's doing push-ups. He has candles. He has a bed. He has a bulletproof vest on. He has a spike jacket on. He looks like Batman running through the Batcave. You know what I mean?
He stole,
Like,
he
or
stole
you
it from
remember?
his
You ever see the
brother-in-law.
episode on Seinfeld with the pig boy?
Yes.
And
Kramer
and
steals him.
Kramer's running down the hallway with this guy on his back. That's what he looked like in the second one. And then he goes to heaven at the end, if you remember that.
Yes.
And then the
Right.
third one, he has, and
church house.
this has to be said, he has Marilyn Manson,
Yep.
who is currently under investigation for sexual assault. He has the baby, who has said some deplorable things about the LGBTQA community in
Facts.
public and has not apologized for it, on a rebuilt, identical version of his childhood home. And then he sets himself on fire, and then he gets married to his ex-wife, possible new wife, question mark.
What happens if this whole Kim divorcing Kanye was all a part of the plan?
No, I don't think so.
Then he's been Kardashian for real.
Facts.
He's not in the sunken place, guys. Come on. It's not Tristan Thompson. Stop it.
Listen, I think he wants her net worth to be combined with his net worth.
No,
I
he
think-
doesn't. He's got way more money than her.
No.
Double Billy. No,
He
like,
does.
I don't think she's worth $1 billion.
She's
No,
not
she's,
worth
no,
that much.
she's the
not
only
worth
one
it.
who's not.
We want
He's worth
prenup.
more than she is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Way
you're
more.
right, you're right.
He's like $3 billion now, or $7 billion.
No, he's like 1.2.
1 point some bill.
No, she's worth $1 billion.
Yeah,
So-
he's not.
So,
She's not worth
how
$1
come
billion.
Kanye said he had enough money to give every person on the earth $1?
I know. That's why I know, because I had to
we'll
fact
get
check
to
it.
lines in a little bit more. We'll get to lines in
Kim
a
is
little bit.
worth
We'll get to
1.2. Kanye's worth 1.8 billion.
There you go.
So, guys, what you're saying is, though, the listening parties were the redemption arc of his life, basically.
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe Blood Red is Crimson, Dark West,
Wow.
and then he's ascended to
Wow.
heaven.
Potential.
Listen.
Right?
Leave it to Calvin to find the poetry. Leave it to Calvin to find the poetry in all this, right?
See,
Wow.
perhaps. Remember what I said about artsy stuff earlier in the chat. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I would like a direct
that
quote.
tracks.
I'd like a direct quote.
That
Stuff
tracks
I
for
can't give
real.
a direct
That tracks
quote.
for
No, I
real.
cannot. We gotta give backstory.
So then-
we don't
so
need to
then-
do that.
So, gentlemen, with that being said, which version of Donda do you think is the best version?
The third.
Like, so we don't have a copy of Listening Party 1, but Listening Party 1, apparently the songs were very choppy. I remember hearing a couple of them. The one that was the standout of Listening Party 1 was everybody hearing Jay-Z on Jail, which
Yeah.
is now what we know as Jail Part 1.
Right.
That was a big standout of the first Listening Party. Listening Party 2, which is the one that we were bumping for a couple of weeks in July prior to the album dropping. And then there's Listening Party 3 that was on Thursday, and then the album comes out, and there's a couple more tinkers to it as well. Plus multiple versions of different songs, so on and so forth. So to you, which version was the best version, or which one do you enjoy the most?
I think the third listening party sounds cleaner. The
Yeah,
audio
definitely.
just sounds a little bit more crisper in it, as opposed to the iTunes release. So I don't know. Kanye did come out and say they released it without his authorization, right? So I don't know if he was done tinkering or whatnot, but the third one for sure, for me anyway, just sounded a bit more cleaner in just the audio itself.
Yeah, I go with number 3 because it's the one, at least as far as we know, where he finally like resolved, like, this is what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because apparently in the third listening party, Jay-Z wasn't on jail, right? So you could see he was trying to figure out, I think, amazingly, what the crowd was feeling, how he was feeling about it, and he was able to say, yo, we're going to just do like a part 1 and a part 2, which I love, instead of the remix. So anyway, I won't go too far down that road, but...
No, I think for real, like, the third one's the best one. Some people thought that, you know, he was making space, like, because he had the baby and Marilyn Manson there, that other stuff didn't show up in the third listening party. So that could be the case, too, where he was, again, playing to the crowd and using that as the biggest sounding board in this, like, public testing of an album. I won't be surprised, because I do believe more artists are going to try to do something like this.
Yep.
Where it's like, I can give you the best album based on feedback. So maybe it's a live stream and it's not like a big production like the Donda production that he just put on. But maybe other artists start to do, hey, we're going to stream it first, maybe 2 months before it comes out, and they can watch the analytics in terms of viewership, comments, and everything, and see where those spikes happen, and be like, okay, this is what people really like, and we thought we were going to only have, 10 tracks. Maybe we need to add another track or add more like this type of thing. So it's a more collaborative, global way to do stuff.
He basically had a concert without having a concert, right? Like,
Yeah.
right? Like,
yeah, he was on tour without a tour.
right? Crazy. And so now he'll go on tour for the album. Well, if he does that, who knows what that looks like, but.
Yeah, guys, but outside of Beyonce and Jay-Z, or Beyonce and Drake, who else can do that in any genre?
Kendrick.
Taylor Swift.
I don't know if Kendrick would. I don't think Kendrick cares
would.
enough.
Kendrick wouldn't care.
Taylor could. Only the biggest stars.
Yeah, only the biggest people could do that, where it would actually matter.
Yeah.
Trippie Redd, nobody cares.
Where people would endure like multiple listenings and then feel like they were part of the process.
Oh, for sure, Taylor Swift. Maybe Adele.
Creating a record.
Why you gotta kill Trippie Redd for?
He had to pick somebody.
First of all, I've never once heard a Trippie Redd song. I know that's a young artist that doesn't have the same type of following. And my camera's gonna die again. I'm sorry, guys. My temperature is too hot.
He did get Drake on a track, though.
He did.
That had
he
some
did.
controversy.
He did. No, for me, while I appreciate the cleanliness of the final project and of number listening party 3, there was more Cuddy on listening party 2.
Fair.
And I'll tell you, listening party 3, one, I was already thrown off when I saw the baby Marilyn Manson at the house. I was kind of like, what is happening? And that kind of pulled me out of the entire album. But then realizing that he's playing Jesus Lord and there was no locks on it, that actually like hurt my soul. I could live without Jay-Z. Because we had the version.
Right.
I could live without that. But I need, like, if there's more room for Cudi, you put Kid Cudi on an album.
You have to. Well, and you're Kanye and Kid Cudi. They're the next best duo to Kanye and Jay-Z.
Like, it's fantastic. And then, we talked about it at the beginning, right? Like the resurgence of the Locks murking Dipset at Madison Square Garden this summer, and then them flying from New York to Atlanta to then be on Jesus Lord, and then listening to I was just re-listening to it today, listening to them like explain, their story in a Christ-like way, but still being the Locks.
Right.
Like Sheik Louch going, always look at my eye when I stare at my op. If you look at my hip, you know that it's cock. It's just fantastic.
No,
it's still like, yeah, don't worry, we're still street.
We're still the Locks.
We're still outside. We might be inside.
We're still outside.
That was terrible.
So for me, but then like the same time, like Heaven and Hell on listening party 2, he at some points mumbles the lyrics because he has no lyrics for it yet. Right. So things of that nature. So I can agree with you on 3. However, I wish that there had been more Cudi on it, and I also like the album order on 2 more. I like I am not sure how I feel about Jail being the opening number on Donda.
Really?
I
I think that's the right.
I thought it was perfect. I thought it was a great trick that he played on us. Because it fit, like in the second listening party, it's kind of towards the end.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think that's why I like it, because if you had the Jay-Z verse on it, it just kind of like before getting to the final track, it just kind of sets the scene for it. I can appreciate why you guys think that it's a good opener. It just threw me off because I was
What
so
would
used
you
to hearing
open it
it
with, though? What would you put?
We'll get there. We'll change the order. We'll get there. I have some ideas.
How long is this episode gonna be, broski?
7 hours. It's gonna be as long as the album.
Yeah, I'm gonna start levitating, and then
Stefan's gonna set himself on fire.
Chapter 2.
James is gonna come out afterwards. Wedding dress, be fantastic.
Yeah, Stefan's gonna get remarried to Jamie tonight.
Gentlemen, what's your favorite song on the album?
Oh man,
Hurricane.
I was literally about to say Stefan's gonna say Hurricane.
Man.
Like,
I love everything.
About.
I love Abel on there, man. I love the quote unquote choir. Like I love the whole just the arrangement. Everything about that track is that's my Kanye West right there, man. Everything about that track is beautiful.
Yeah, there's
currently
a
number
lot.
one on iTunes. What was that, Bart? Sorry about that. Cut you off.
There's a lot to like about Hurricane. For me, right now, it sounds horrible, but it's the Donda chant. Like I can't stop saying Donda. I can't.
But
can't.
He didn't ask what the catchiest one was. He asked what one you like the most.
No.
You're not driving around listening to Donda.
Donda.
I work with somebody who had it on repeat, like just one singular repeat.
Yeah.
He's like, why is the song so long, and why does he just keep saying Donda, Donda?
I would.
You know what?
She was stuck in a loop, bro.
I bet you somebody's going to make a YouTube video of Donda for you know how they make those songs like Baby Shark for an hour?
Yeah.
Someone's going to do like Donda
boy.
for an hour. Just an hour. Donda.
The real song that I would say is probably Praise God or Jail. But Donda
you can only pick one.
Yeah, you can only pick one, fam.
Then Praise God. I love that one.
All right. New Again.
Song.
New Again is my jam. I've been yelling that one on the Kiwi W like multiple times.
Or Pure Soul. Oh, man. There's so many good
Pure
songs.
Soul is
Yo,
that would be
listen. Roddy, and apparently the backstory
through.
is, so you remember how Kanye West, who won a Grammy for Best Christian Album, remember that? And then remember the time that he peed on the Grammy because he was mad at the Grammys? Well, Roddy Ricch got at him and was like, yo, you're disrespecting the Grammys. Like, I've been working my tail off for this, and you're doing this. And so that's why he's talking about, like, in the songs, like, people thought I was mad about the Grammys. I'm looking at my Grammy right now. I was getting to my dog telling him to pipe down, because once you're raised in the trenches and you walk through the trenches, like he's basically saying, like, I've worked very hard for this.
Mm-hmm.
Chase, have you memorized the whole album already, or what's going on?
I literally was listening to it right before we started recording. Just kind of, it's just in my mind.
Down.
But like Roddy's crazy on that track. Like Roddy's crazy. Pure Soul's crazy.
Pure Soul's crazy.
Cal?
Yeah, New Again. That would be my jam.
I think for me, there's so many. But
there's too many.
It's hard.
But the one that I find myself enjoying the most, and I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna do like Bart did. I'm gonna say which one it really is. But there's three: Off the Grid, Off the Grid, and then Keep My Spirit Alive, and Jesus Lord Part 2. But the one I'm gonna go with right now is Keep My Spirit Alive because of flipping West Side Gun. Boom, 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 boom.
He's on one right now.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's a good year for the
My
West.
man goes, thank God. Jeez.
You gotta love that
man,
Griselda.
This album
fam.
is really good. I don't know if we've said
It's
that yet,
fantastic.
but we're excited about the album.
Yes,
No,
we are. Yes, we are.
There's only one person in this chat who wasn't excited when he should have been.
That's Stephon Leroy Watson.
No. It's not that I wasn't excited. It's that because you did the 16-year-old youth girl thing. Hillsong Young and Free comes out with a song, and now you're on top of it, and you're like, yo, this is the best
there
thing
wasn't
ever.
one song.
Wait,
Whatever.
you're on top of
There's
what,
100
bro?
songs.
No one said it was the best thing ever. No one said that.
Everybody's giving it. Let it breathe. You gotta let the.
You were
album-
telling us you were trying to review it. You
Yeah.
hadn't even listened all the way
listened-
through.
bro,
and the rest of us
no.
had already listened to it like twice.
I
at
had
least.
listened to it
All
bare
right.
times
So
on that
in light of
day.
that argument, what's your worst song? What's the song you like the least on the album?
Ugh.
Donda. No, I'm joking.
Donda. Donda chant.
Okay, and we're
Okay,
not counting
I
the
w-
Donda chat. We're not counting. Which, if you watch the listening party 3, as the chant's happening, there are pictures of Kanye and his mother happening. So
Wow.
from a visual perspective,
Make-
it makes sense
make us feel like
because
terrible people.
It's a part of this visual, but on record, it's just kind of like, why is this the opening track on this thing? Why is this happening? But
I would say, and it's not because I don't want it on there. I hate this. Why are you making us do this?
I
bro?
know, this
can
is
pick you.
horrible.
Why are you making us do this?
God breathed.
What?
That's mine. God breathed.
That's yours?
Yeah.
God breathe?
I know God breathed on this. I know God breathed.
That's a
on
great
this.
song.
It's gonna get canceled on rip.
You know what? I think the
2-4?
Pop Smoke song probably, although I love it and I've been vibing to it, I feel like if there was one that didn't need to be there, it was him. But I love that new music keeps coming out with this dude, and he's been gone for a long time now.
Yep.
Fair.
And it's all good. It's just not my favorite one.
Bart.
I don't know.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah, because
24.
I'll go ahead of you then, Bart. I think
Yeah.
for me, I would agree with Calvin. If I was going, if the songs that actually no, what I'll say is the songs that I skip are Jesus Lord Part 1. I skip it every time because I'd rather
Wow.
hear Jesus Lord Part 2. Because I want to hear the locks. I still want to hear Jay Electronica by himself, even though Jay
I know.
Electronica's fantastic. I
good.
want to be able to hear it with the locks on it. And and the other one I often skip is Okay.
Okay, okay
Really?
is my other option, but 24 or okay.
Really?
Although, hot take, okay, Part 2 is way better than Part 1.
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that.
That's not a hot
That
take.
would be my second favorite.
You're
on the album.
right.
Yeah, but yeah, the Pop Smoke one, it's. You remember how on The Life of Pablo we got introduced to Panda?
Yeah.
Same. It's the same feeling.
It's the
Exact
same feeling. So it's kind of like it's less sort of like it just makes less sense.
Mhm.
If that makes any sense, like so I get why it's there and shouts to Pop Smoke, rest in power Pop
rip.
Smoke, but like, ugh.
Yep.
Okay.
No, Chris, I'm with you.
So we've talked about a little bit about this. I mentioned the fact that I would change the order. I don't know if I would have Jail open. The album is almost 2 hours long. No, it's more than 2 hours long. Sorry,
Yeah.
right? Jesus Lord Part 2 is 12 minutes long. That it's crazy. And there's other versions of these songs and other songs that probably didn't make the album cut. It's not like Good Friday where he was releasing stuff beforehand and then came out with the album. Like this is a lot to take in. So if you're Rick Rubin, remember Rick Rubin, he famously came in the Yeezus sessions and he cut the album down to 42 minutes, made it more minimalistic, and Yeezus is probably, in my mind, in Kanye's top 3 albums of all time, right? If you're Rick Rubin, what are you looking at Kanye and saying, you don't need this, change this? Like, how much tinkering are you doing to the album if you have the chance to do it?
I don't know if you can.
Yes, you can. You always can.
Are you kidding me,
That's the
Stefan?
whole premise
I don't
of
know
this.
if you.
I don't know if you can.
Okay,
I don't.
you're
Go ahead,
canceled. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put on my Rick Rubin beard. He doesn't wear a hat. I'll put my Rick Rubin beard
You
on.
gotta do those like weird yoga squats.
Yeah. And I would probably my advice as Rick Rubin would be cut the BS and only do one version of the songs. So pick which one. Is it Jail Part 1 or Part 2? Or is it, the all the Part 2s, the okay part, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cut all of that and pick which one you want and decide for the listener what the best experience is.
Yep. I look at it and I think the last two songs which feel like I should be in a church service, Come to Life and then No Child Left Behind, I would probably pick one of those two songs. Because they, as people who have been in worship services, those are things like they do sort of the similar thing.
Mm.
And I would pick one of those two songs. I don't know if I would have both of them on it. I don't know if I would. If there's no Kid Cudi on Remote Control, even though I love Thugger Thugger, I'm probably cutting it. Like, you're gonna have the whole thing. And I as much as I make fun of Stefan, like, I don't know what I would really cut off of this. I would probably cut Pop Smoke off, and I would remove all the part twos. And if you're gonna go down with the ship, if you're gonna put Lil Baby on it, then you put Lil Baby on it, and you go down with the ship, and you own it. If you really don't like the Jay-Z verse, because I think the Jay-Z verse is more there because people were like, "You're not gonna cut Jay-Z, are you?"
You can't cut Jay-Z.
And that's why Jay-Z. That's why Jay-Z made the album.
You think that's for real? I don't think that he wanted to cut him. I think he just did that for the third party because he could.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. To go back to the other conversation we were having, I think he was just making space because he had other features for the live experience, but then for the finished product, it's a different experience. I think he was just managing features, space, how much of his shine he wanted to pass on, and to make the narrative work for that experience alone. He wants people to think that, or people to understand that him and Jay are cool.
Like, even to the point where, like, in what song is it? In the song Jonah, Lil Durk says, Kanye and Ye and Jay-Z and Ye are still brothers. They're both billionaires. Like, in case you're wondering, they're still friends.
Billionaires. Yeah.
Right.
We're too rich to be mad at each other.
Yeah.
Our host is gone.
And Chris is gone.
Did he actually just dip?
So RIP to the co-host.
Yo, listen, we're all co-hosts.
We're
Don't let it derail.
You know what? I'd cut God Breathed. That'd be my cut. And the part twos. I get the part twos. There's really no need for them. But God Breathed,
right.
Whatever. I can do without it. I wouldn't miss it if it weren't there.
I know God breathed on this.
You don't like that song, eh?
Not a huge fan, no. Like, I like it.
I think though, guys,
if I had to cut a song, that would be the one.
It's a very Kanye song. He loves using vocals and the beat drums, right? So,
if I was Rick Rubin, I would just tell him drop an album now and drop an album again in November.
Yeah.
Just don't put it all as one. In a streaming age, like if it's 2006, drop a double disc.
But then okay? Go ahead, Bart.
I was just gonna say, when you have as many good songs as this is what Drake wanted with Scorpion. Scorpion was 94% trash, and then 6% absolute hot fire.
Right.
And God's plan.
And God's
right.
You know what I'm saying? So the remaining 4% was like really good stuff, or stuff that were already singles that we knew, take down for what. But with Kanye, he has how many tracks? 24?
Yeah, 28.
28 tracks, and I would say of those tracks, 85-90% are decent.
More than decent.
They're good.
Like, would be absolute bangers. Amongst, like, other than maybe Dark Twisted Fantasy, they would be potential singles on his other albums. Most of this album.
And we judge him on a different curve, right? Too, because his greatness is so great that if this is Baby Keem's album, this is one of the greatest albums of 2021.
If this is Drake's album. If this is Drake's album,
we
say he made two classics, and who can touch them?
So in light of that, then real quick question for us then, like, how much of the last 3 years of Kanye's life affects your listening to this? Because remember, he famously said a couple years ago, slavery was a choice. He famously openly wore "Make America Great Again" baseball caps and hung out and hugged Donald Trump and said he was his hero. I know, Bart, just let me get the sentence out before you don't care. Let me get the sentence out first. He famously went and ran for president, all this sort of stuff, all these sort of things that he was doing out loud, right? Remember, this is the same guy who said George Bush doesn't care about black people and became the icon. And then said like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get in bed with these guys now on the other end. Like, pause. Like all this sort of stuff.
Well,
right?
she's
like,
not here, fam. We don't
does
have
that
to
change? Does that change? Because for some people, in reading reviews, they were unable to separate who Kanye West has been over the last few years. They were unable to separate that from what he's done musically now.
Right.
Has that been something for you, or are you kind of like, listen, man, I'm just here for the music?
Both. No. I would say, no, I've been able to separate it and be conscious of that's him trying to wade into politics for things that he's deeply concerned about and moved by. That's him giving cultural commentary. I mean, we could go back all the way to Diamonds, and you can see the conflict that he has about some of the blacks in America. I know some people will hate that I said that, but he has had an internal wrestle of how he functions in the world, how he's fallen through America as a black man, and he's like, I don't want to rock the chains because of what that represents. It kind of seems like we're putting the chains back on, but I'm black, so I'm born to wear gold, right? Like he has all of these kind of themes, so I can understand his frustration in some of his commentary as he's looking at his fellow black people in America from a different vantage point, but knowing where he came from, so I can separate that too. I can understand mental health and the openness that he has had as he's kind of he had the chat with Charlemagne, he had the chat with Joe Rogan, so you've seen him try and process some of these things in real life. And then he's just a brilliant artist. So as an artist, I love what he was doing visually. I can handle what he's doing sonically. Let's just put it all together and accept it for what it is.
Stefan, you going?
Yeah, it doesn't affect it at all. I don't think. Like, if you can't separate them, then that's good for you, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, no, man. I don't get people who like, oh man, this guy wore a MAGA hat, so I can't listen to this amazing album, or it affects the way you. Who are you to tell Kanye West what to do? Like, you're not on his level. You don't understand what he's thinking. You don't understand how he thinks or how he processes things. You just don't live in his world. You get to be a buyer. You get to be a consumer of what he produces and what he creates, and that's where you're at. Right. You're not up there. So I don't know. Maybe it's the hard right conservative in me. No, I'm just kidding. Pause.
But it was hilarious.
You're not kidding.
You're right.
I didn't like. They posted that it was number one. Was it this morning or yesterday?
Yep.
In 130 countries. Fam, I had to go and look at how many countries are actually in the world. There's only 60 countries that probably don't even have Wi-Fi, and we've never heard of that aren't listening to this album.
Yeah,
so if you listen to it and you hate it, that's fine. If you're listening into it and you're disappointed in your expectations of what you think Kanye should do, that's fine too. But he gave us what will be a monumental moment in music history again. Like, you can't count him out.
This is what I would have to say. The mania is part of the artistry.
Fair enough. I can't argue that.
Kanye is like a computer processor. Whatever happens in his life, it gets digested and processed, and then the output goes into the music. So can I separate the single sound bite of him saying George Bush doesn't like black people, or wearing a MAGA hat? Yes, I can. And I also understand that all of that works together for the whole collective. That's my piece.
I think too, it's valuable of remembering the So Kanye West says some problematic things. We're fans of hip hop. Hip hop is full of problematic things that are said all the freaking time.
Every day.
It's like, oh man, we can't listen to him because of this. All right, so let's listen to this guy talking about being in the trap and trapping and selling, and
you won't be able to listen to hip hop anymore
rock.
if that's how you're gonna.
I was listening to Shaw Claire yesterday, and I had to turn it off because I was like, we don't talk like that
Oh
anymore.
my goodness, Chaclair. Oh my goodness.
I was doing a deep cut on the northern
Bing, bing,
northern
bing.
touch, man. I was at the Shaq concert the other day, so I was playing Rascals and Jellystone.
Jeez.
Money can't buy me
Chaclair coming down
happiness,
with the
but I'm
northern touch.
happiest when I can buy what I want.
That's Jellystone,
That's
right?
Jellystone, yeah.
Jellystone. Money can't buy me happiness.
So good, man.
That's
I used to
okay
love when that would come on in the radio. And she looks like a
Yo, that's
movie
something banger
star.
still, yo. Right after this, I'm going on a deep dive myself.
Yo,
We notorious. Ain't
Northern
nobody
Touch, man.
can
We got
bang
it.
with us.
Bang with us.
Hey, shout out to Cardinal,
But I
man,
think-
putting on for Toronto.
Yo,
before
Cardinal official. Yo, shout out to
Shout
all the
out to
Toronto rappers. Yo,
Socrates.
shout
Oh, yeah,
out.
Socrates
Drake
too.
stands on the shoulders of giants, man.
Yo, Coming Up is still for me the best song ever given to the world from Toronto by Socrates.
Okay.
Wu-Tang found this guy. Come on.
But again, I go back to saying, like, if you can hate Kanye for his, and Kanye's been vocal his entire career since the jump,
Forever.
Like so I was reading an article or listening to a podcast this morning, and they were saying Kanye West has told us who he's been since college dropout. He hasn't changed. He's been who he is.
Facts.
Even as he would describe himself a follower of Jesus, he's the same.
He's the same guy.
Same dude.
Which is why I love
He
this
has
album.
not hidden that.
I hated Jesus is King because I just felt like he had that. I'm a
He was
youth
so out of
kid
pocket.
No,
at
you just
camp,
hate gospel
and
music.
my youth
Get outta
pastor
here.
told me to throw out all my albums that are secular, and then he tried to switch it up, and then he realized, oh, you can still listen to music and watch movies, and you can still have your friends. You don't have to abandon your family, and you can still have faith. That's what this album was, and I was like,
But
thank
Lord,
you. Come back.
I'm losing my
But
family.
Lord, I want to bury my family. Now you have to leave them, fam.
Yeah, I'm reading a different version than you are, Bart. So
Yo, don't abandon your family. Remember that's track from Listening Party 2.
yeah.
All right. So then let's do two more categories. Your fave feature on the album. We're gonna do fave feature, and then we're gonna rank the Kanye albums. Right.
Ooh,
So here are some of the
fave
features.
feature.
I'll read them out to you real quickly. We got Jay-Z and Francis and the Lights on Jail.
Oh,
we
dude, there's
we
too
got
many.
Vori on God Breathe. Fivio Foreign and Playboy Cardi on Off the Grid, and Fivio ate that beat up, like killed it.
Everybody
We got
did
Lil
very
Baby
well.
in the Weekend on Hurricane, Baby Keem, Travis Scott on Praise God, Lil Durk and Rory on Jonah, Fivio Foreign, Little Yachty and Ruga on OK OK. We got Young Thug on Remote Control, Don Toliver and Kid Cudi on Moon. We got Conway the Machine, West Side Gun on Keep My Spirit Alive, J Electronica, The Lock, Swiss Beats on Jesus Lord. We got Chris Brown talking about problematic stuff on New Again. We got Pop Smoke. We got the Sunday Service Choir. We got Roddy Ricch. We got Sensia. We got The Baby again. So we got Ty Dolla $ign as well on
And
you know
Shensi.
what the nubby on my ring?
Shensia? Is it Shensia that
Yeah.
the reggae artist?
So who was your favorite? And I'm taking West Side Gun off the table for myself because I will just naturally say boom 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 immediately. So I'm gonna take him off the table for myself. So who's your favorite feature of the album?
For me, I have like the one that just like the moment I heard for the second listening party that the first one I ever heard, it has to be Abel, The Weeknd. When I heard that, I was like, okay, that's how you feeling, Kanye. I feel this. I'm ready.
Can we put him in the stratosphere place though, just to be like, obviously nobody did better than him, but nobody was going to do better than him either.
True.
Like,
If
he's
my
just- he
second
just-
pick,
he's
my
that
second
dude.
pick then would then be The Locks.
Yeah. As a collective. Like when I heard Hurricane, I remember watching Listening Party and then hearing Abel and going like, and I think I pretty well tweeted in all caps, Abel's on the album.
Yeah,
and I was
you
like,
did.
oh my goodness.
And you
it's
spelled it
fantastic.
wrong too. You spelled it Abel.
I was
like,
so
he's
I was so
able to do
excited.
it.
I wrote like Abel as like God
Won't
is
he
able.
do it?
Won't he will?
I will say I was the most proud of Lil Durk, just because a young and upcoming dude. I don't really listen to him. But I was like, oh man, he can punch. Like he's up there.
Yeah.
But Don Toliver, Kid Cudi, that
go
combo
wrong.
is just dumb. This is too
Can't
good.
go wrong.
Lyrically, it's ridiculous.
Just too
Can't
good.
go wrong. Taking a sip from my cup. Flipping Kid Cudi, man.
I love the meme
we
when
have
somebody
more
was
worship
saying,
leaders sing like Kid Cudi.
"Who
If we
can
have
sing
more
like
worship leaders
Kid
like Kid Cudi, I would buy more albums.
Yo,
Yeah.
if Kid Cudi is the only artist I know who makes melancholiness cool.
Yeah, like you're like, okay, I want to be sad for a couple of days.
Yeah.
If I give sound like Kid Cudi, sure.
Listen,
Yeah, he's our Kurt Cobain.
I can't do Kid Cudi.
for hip hop. He's a Kurt Cobain of hip hop.
You know, no, I can't.
The Kurt Cobain of hip hop.
Yeah.
This is
The
my
guy
TikTok.
moans, like he just literally moans on the track, and we're just like, yeah, yes, Lord. You don't need Sunday service. Just get Kid Cudi to make some sound.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, Watts.
This is tough because I don't want to copy Bart, but I mean, listen. Again, I can separate the person and the artist. Anyway, I like the baby's bars on Jail Part 2.
He came with it.
Babies, eh?
He did babies.
I like
the
I like his verse. I like his verse on Jail Part 2.
belly.
Yeah.
But I gotta go with Hurricane. I gotta go with Abel, man. Abel, like it's like Bart said, you hear that and you hear him and you're like, yo, this is
I had the biggest reaction to that.
that. Once you hear him come up, once you hear his voice, you're like, holy, okay, this is a serious thing that Kanye's putting together here. The first time, for the first listen,
everything the weekend's on.
true.
Everything.
You're not wrong.
Like, did you hear that song with Belly? Belly released a song with The Weeknd singing the hook.
Yeah.
And Nas finishes it off. It's like, yo, Abel's on a different level right now. This next album's gonna be stupid. Great.
Oh, man.
It's stupid good.
And thing is, I don't know if I'm a big fan of The Weeknd, but there was something about like that song sounds like they spent $1,005,000
Yes.
on the
The
song.
whole
Yes.
thing is produced and mastered.
It sounds
beautifully.
like money being spent. Just like it's just like oof,
It's perfect.
oof. And then like my pick is going to be it's not going to be Abel. My pick is going to be Lil Baby. Because in my mind, Lil Baby can do no wrong, and Lil Baby comes through on that track in the realest way, like just punches it in like again. I feel like I enjoy the features more on this album more than I enjoy Kanye
Features
West
were
on the album.
fun.
Like the features are incredible.
Are there too many
The features are worth.
No.
Listen, they
It's 2021.
remember my beautiful dark twisted fantasy.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
The thing with the
So appalled.
there's
It's like 9
amazing
minutes
features.
long, and it's just everybody else except for
Yeah,
Kanye.
listen, Soul Paul is one of my favorite
but the
tracks
best,
of all time.
Kanye is amazing because he's like, I'm going to take the backseat as a producer, and I'm still going to eat. Like, he doesn't get blown away by any of these guys. Like, blown
He does.
away? No.
Fivio
Like,
Foreign on Off the Grid, Fivio kills him.
yeah, but think about the posture. Like, he's making the beat, he's setting the tone, he's standing back with his arms crossed, smiling while these guys are doing it, and then he jumps on and has fun because he's Kanye.
Actually, remember, in the Listening Party 1, he doesn't have a verse on Off the Grid. He has a verse in the beginning. In Listening Party 3, after everybody's talking about how great Fivio was, he then adds a verse at the end to kind of remind everybody that he's still Kanye
Fair.
West.
Fair. He's still Kanye
He's
West.
still who he says he is.
Yeah,
he
that's
is.
true.
They were who we thought they were. He's still Kanye West. There's still a narcissist in there.
Yeah.
There'll always be.
But it wasn't with the same kind of angst or energy that he had on Drake's that song where he had Kanye, Eminem, Lil Wayne, right? Remember?
Oh, Forever?
Yeah, Forever. Like that song's still, it's got to be up there. But
Okay, fair,
Kanye's
fair,
like,
fair,
"Yo, I
fair,
took
fair,
2 days
fair,
off.
fair, fair.
I cleared my whole schedule because I heard Eminem's verse, and there's no way I was getting toasted. Like I had to rewrite that. You know how much money he would have lost in those 2 days, man?
He has the money.
I don't think that he was coming to be like the king of rap. I think he just wanted to give us something we never
and he
seen
never
and
would be.
experienced.
Okay, and also I lied. My favorite feature is West Side Gun because West Side Gun's the best Griselda for life. Boom, 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 boom.
You've been on
Where
that the
now?
last couple of years, man. You're on that gutter hip hop.
Listen,
you went from
I
doing the
am
like
not-
little burgundy dances to just
I
be
would
like
not know how to
mobbing.
rob anybody if I had to choose. But if I was forced to, if someone said we kidnap your family and you have to rob somebody, the music that I'd be listening to to psych myself up is Griselda.
Always.
It's
Yeah.
West Side. It's
Benny the
Conway,
Butcher.
The locks
and it's Benny.
and the locks. You gotta go back to the locks.
Right? Like the Griselda is the locks for right now.
It's true.
Fair.
Boom, 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 boom. All right, boys. Before we go,
Yeah, because I got to
Before we
bounce.
go,
soon.
right? Before we go, we need like where does this rank? Where does
I'm working on
Donda
this right
rank?
now. Yeah.
Where does Donda rank? And so I'm gonna read out to you guys the albums. Right? This is his 10th studio album. We have College Dropout. We have A Late Registration. We have Graduation. 808s and Heartbreak. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. We have Yeezus. The Life of Pablo, Yay. Jesus King, which Stefan does count as a studio release. You can't say I don't really count it. It counts. It made money. He got to perform it at Lakewood in Texas.
He got a Grammy for it.
It's a real album.
He got a Grammy for it. It counts. And then finally, Donda. So if you are making your ranking,
Oh boy.
knowing that either Ye or Jesus King is probably last,
They're both
how
last.
does-
Oh boy.
I only got up to
Listen,
4, and
they're
this is
Kanye
where I can
adjacent.
stop. I got top 4, and then
I
everything
remember,
else gets
and
hard.
we are not counting Watch the Throne because that's a collaborative album.
Right.
We're not counting
Kitsy Ghost.
Kitsy Ghost, and we're not counting
Cruel Summers.
the Good Music compilation with Lamborghini Mercy, Yo Trixie So Thirsty. Like we're not counting that collaboration.
Technically,
album either,
Jesus
even
is
though-
Speaking of
Born
rollouts.
is also a collaboration album.
and we're not counting Jesus. Jesus is born, the Son of
was
God. He
born.
reigns forever, but we're not
He
counting
was
the album.
already born, been born, is born, forever born.
Theraflu.
More life, more life, more life, more life.
More life, more life, more life, more life, more life. Here live on the More Life podcast.
Right? Guys,
Man.
I got up to the top 4, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do after that. It gets too hard.
Is anybody ready?
I'm
Okay,
ready.
I'll go.
I'm ready. Okay,
I'll
go
say
ahead.
Dark Twisted Fantasy 1.
See?
I would go Graduation 2. Yeezus 3. Dropout. No. Sorry. 808s. Dropout. Pablo. Donda. Pablo. Registration. Am I missing one? And then the other ones are.
Wowee. Wowee.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Wowee, what?
I think I'm ready, guys. Number 1, Dark Twisted Fantasy. Number 2, College. Number 3, Jesus. 4, 808. 5, Graduation. 6 is Pablo. 7, Late Registration. 8, Donda.
Oh my God. I thought you made a mistake.
I did make a
But
mistake.
that's-
Donda's not on here. Sorry. Come back to me, please. I need more time. I need more time.
All right.
Just in case for those of you who are listening, I sent out these categories way in advance,
Yes,
and here
but
we
this
are
is the
struggling
hardest
midnight
one.
up.
This is the hardest one.
All right.
It is hard. It is hard though. And just so you know, Kanye's 10th or his worst album is still better than 95% of the game's best album.
100%.
All right. Wait, when you say
Okay,
the game, do
so-
you mean the rap game or the game?
Shut
Okay.
up, Stefan. Oh my
Hey, man,
gosh.
Just saying, the game was anyway.
This is how we do. All right, I'm gonna go. I got my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy at 1. I got Yeezus at 2. I got Graduation at 3. That's my top tier. I got College Dropout at 4. I got 808 at 5. And this is where it gets tricky for me, but I think I'm going to go at this point right now. I think I'm going to go Donda at 6. Late Registration at 7.
Holy.
Pablo 8, Ye 9,
Pablo
Jesus King at
8.
10.
Damn.
Late registration's that low for you, fam?
You listen.
But look at the list, though. Look at
Look
what
at the
he's-
list.
I know.
at this list. Look at the
I know.
list.
This is tough, man.
Look at the list.
I hate you for asking this question.
Listen. It's the list. I wish there was more clear like his first 5 albums. Like you really could go first 5 albums and then that's it. Like
Facts.
at the top. And I originally had the first 5 albums as my top 5 immediately.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, you go, Bart. You go.
Go for it.
The middle part is where it gets super bad because you know what's at the end.
Yeah.
And you know what's at the
Ye,
top.
we already know Ye and Jesus King are the bottom 2.
Yes,
we know that
they're-
already.
they're-
That's fine.
They're in the respective places. Number 1, like I said, Dark Twisted Fantasy. 2, College Dropout. 3, Yeezus, of course. 4, 808. 5, Graduation.
Oh man.
This is where Donda and Pablo. I love Pablo. Okay, 6 Donda, 7 Pablo, 8 late registration,
Wow.
9 King, 10 Ye.
Yo, it's the list.
I know,
man.
but
I get it. No, I
Can't
get
go
it. I
wrong
get
with
it.
any of
No, no,
these.
you're.
I get it.
no,
I
no.
get it. I understand.
I-
I understand it. I understand. I understand it.
All right.
I understand. And late registration is a hard
That's
one
okay.
because there's some. Listen, man. Crack music.
Bring Me
Drive
Down.
Slow. Roses.
Oh man,
Flipping We Major.
Touch the Sky.
Jeez,
Heard him
bro.
say.
Touch the Sky.
Drive Slow.
Yeah,
That
But then
5,
again, he
6,
also has that guy
7
who-
screws everything up.
Diamonds.
I got
He also
those
has
before.
he also has Adam Levine on that album too, though. Which
the
is
thing
kind
with late
which is a little
registration
sus.
is it's sandwiched in between graduation and
I know.
and dropout, and then you get him kicking the door down with 808s. So it's just like
and then he
And
does
then-
Yeezus.
Yep.
And then he does
well,
Beautiful
dark,
Dark,
well,
Fantasy.
dark, and then Yeezus,
or no, dark and then Yeezus, right?
and it's all within like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And you can't, yeah. 808 is artistry. Dark Twisted Fantasy is immaculate. Yeezus is upper echelon. Like,
See,
what are
yeah.
you going to do with that?
Yeah.
What's hilarious about this is Yeezus. I remember taking it out of the Discman and saying, I'm not listening to this anymore, and putting it away. I never made it through the first listening. Pablo didn't have the same kind of like guttural reaction,
Yes,
but I was
yeah.
just like, what is he doing? Like,
It was
what
so.
is this?
It was so. I remember saying. Calvin. I think I said to you or Bart. It's too heathen. It's too heathen for me.
Yeah,
it's
it
too
was.
much. I think it's maybe you, Bart. I was like, it's just too heathenistic for me. I can't do it.
I remember
And
listening
I went to
to
the
it
show
and
and
being
it,
like, I
the
don't think this
hedonism
is good.
was matched.
I remember listening to it and saying, I don't think this is good, because in my mind, I was still expecting Yeezus in my mind.
Yeah.
And then that's probably the biggest turnaround of an album for me, where I'm like, oh, this is actually really like waves.
Well, and that's why I'm saying it's hilarious, right? And also, what was sandwiched in between those was Watch the Throne. So you're in the middle of this crazy
Yeah.
Kanye renaissance, and then Pablo, like, he just switches gears, and you're like, what?
Where
Okay,
were you
but-
saving all of this energy?
So yeah, right. So what I'm saying is, we listened to those albums and we're like, these are trash, like terrible. What was he thinking? Is too alternative, right? Jay-Z came and said, oh, it's polarizing, haha. And we're like, no, man, it's just no good. And it's climbing up our list. I would imagine in 5 years from now that Yeezus probably gets to 2 for all of us, and that Pablo moves to the top
Yeezus
5.
is 2 for me.
Right.
I can imagine Yeezus in some respects. You guys know the podcast Dissect.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who does Dissect has Yeezus as his number 1, and then My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy as his number 2.
Wow.
And I understand that. I actually
Blood on
understand
the
the
Leaves.
reasoning behind that. So,
So with
all right,
Donda,
it'll climb. It'll
there's
climb.
recency bias, but it sounds like he's legit in his prime. And there's so much to this album. If the working theory that there are two, like it's a double disc thing, and that he's got 2 arcs that he's trying to communicate,
Right.
If that becomes verified and you can buy those on vinyl, I wouldn't put it past anybody to have this in their top 3. And think about
Donda,
what it
over
has to push
time,
through.
will be.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done, man.
All right, Stefan, what's your
All
list?
right, here we go. I'm going graduation number 1. Dark
right.
Twisted Fantasy 2. Yeezus.
Okay.
Registration. 808s. Dropout. Life of Pablo. No. Donda. Life of Pablo. I don't like you pick
Jesus King and Ye.
Jesus King and Ye. Like you know where the last 2 stand up, and that's tough, man. It's hard to but
Yeah, it is.
Dark Twisted Fantasy is just so flippin' ridiculous.
You have Graduation as 1.
That is
Graduation's a great
I
album,
know
though.
it is.
So good.
Graduation is
It's so good. The only
That
song
shaped
that's
the
kind of
early
suspect on that-
2000s,
Yep.
the mid 2000s.
Like you think about like everything, like flipping Good Life is on that, man.
Champion.
Stronger's
Champion.
on that, man.
can't tell me
Homecoming's
nothing.
on that, man. Champion's on that, man.
Nah, wait till I get my. Come on, man.
And that's
Big
my
Brother
favorite.
was
That's my
great.
favorite Kanye
So-
West song. That's my favorite Kanye West song of all time. Can't tell me nothing. That's the bio on my Facebook page is la 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 la. Wait till I get mom.
man.
It's prophetic.
Yeah. It was a good time for music when that came out.
No, this is what I want to say, though. When I think of music, I also try to think what else was happening in that time.
Time period.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think when Graduation came out, we were in the more upbeat, happy place, but Kanye just brought the energy. I call it like almost like new money energy to yeah, and that's what made it so like hype, because we still had like, you know, Kanye gets he needs to get credit for it. He switched the entire game up, right?
Mm-hmm. Multiple times. He's like, oh no, this gangster baggy clothes ain't it. No, we're popping collars and we're buying Pink
Louis Vuitton
polos.
now, guys. What are you talking about? Get the pink polos.
They still call him that. The kids call him that still. That's amazing.
And remember, around graduation, or just after graduation, his mother passes away.
Yeah.
You know what?
He breaks up with his long-term girlfriend, 808 and Heartbreak. 808 and Heartbreak. He then destroys his life with Taylor Swift, creates the greatest album in the last 15 years.
That would be a great
says,
conversation.
I know I can repeat this and be fine with it. Nope. I'm going to flip and go. I'm going to go Yeezus and go the complete. There's just so much to it, guys.
Right.
This is I'm sorry to have asked this question because it was a hard. But it's worth.
You know what
asking.
stands out for me about graduation? I think I said this when we were talking. Is the competition with 50? Because remember, 50 was coming out with his album, and they had this like the friendly competition. Yo, listen, that was like an amazing time.
Kanye almost sold 1 million copies of that album, and if 50 didn't come out, he would have sold 1.6 million copies of that album, bro.
Crazy, man. And that's why I say I think he was.
People need to listen.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say people need to put more respect on. I get that Kanye's done enough stuff that we can feel like we don't like him, but like
I watched the Cosby Show last
him.
night. So
oh no, we're not going down this road. Yo, my camera's dying.
Me too.
Chris,
it's
take us
overheating.
home. What else we got?
Well, listen, man, we've done what we wanted to do. We wanted to review the album. Oh, question: is this a Christian rap album? Yes or no?
Heck no.
Quickly.
It's a Christian who raps.
That's perfect. This has been Lion Chat. We should do this again when Certified Lover Boy comes out and review that album. And maybe it's something that we do as a House of Common show. A couple of us get together and we review rap albums because we love that. We love rap music.
Yes, we do.
As problematic as it can be.
Facts.
From all of us to all of you, the listener or the viewer, however we're going to make this available to you, respect. Cop that Donda. Donda.
Donda.
Donda.
Donda.
Donda.